This is Speak What's Needed, a podcast where conviction meets compassion and truth is always paired with grace. In a world quick to stay silent on tough issues, we open the conversations that matter most, from faith and culture to personal struggles and spiritual growth. Each episode brings honest biblical dialogue for life rooted in Christ, because sometimes the hardest words are the ones we most need to hear. This is Speak What's Needed. Welcome back to Speak What's Needed. I hope you guys enjoyed the last two episodes in this mini series, Forged in the Fire. This is episode 3. This is gonna be one of my deepest ones yet. And the title of this is What Suffering Reveals About You. I want to start off with this quote. Hard seasons reveal what comfort can hide. So let's jump right into it. So I want to talk about what dealing with pain does for you in the season or whatever you're going through. And I want to talk about what I've been dealing with, like personally, after like whatever everything has happened, and just down in the nitty gritty of things. The biggest things that I dealt with was fear, pride, anger, security, insecurities, misplaced identities. So with fear, it was the fear of the unknown. Like all I ever known was this other person. Like I known this other person since like the end of my sophomore year of high school back in 2018. Now it's 2026. When everything happened, this was 2025. So 2018 to 2025. That's a long time. I'm 25 now. That's so from when I was 17 to when I was essentially 25 now. That's a lot of years. And all I ever known was this other person. And when something is like taken from you, just in general, when something is taken from you, you start to panic, similar to how kids are. When you take something from them, they start acting out. And so for me, it was like a sense of panic. Like I've been married like most of my adult life, young adult life. I got married in 2020, so I was 19. Got married at 19. A lot of people say that's definitely young. Yeah, and I definitely agree to an extent, but everybody's situation is different. But I definitely agree to an extent that that was very young to get married. And with the unknown is like once everything happened, I'm like, what's next? What do I do next? Like, what is there out there for me to do next? Like everything, like my entire world just flipped on its head. And with and when you talk about pride, pride is will always be the downfall of man, of men and women. Women can have pride also, and it is one of the worst things to ever have, character traits to have. And like throughout the relationship, I had a sense of pride when it was once upon a time, it was the other person mentioned, wanting to go to couples therapy. And at that time, me being young and dumb and thinking I know everything, I'm like, I kind of just brushed it off because I was thinking, what do I need? What we need couples therapy for? Me being naive to everything, and I guess not sensing then that the relationship started straining at that time. But I'm thinking, whatever it is, we can figure it out on our own. Hash this out ourselves. And that was like one of the, I guess, turning points or whatever. What was that me not thinking about it then, but now thinking about it now is like maybe things could change, maybe not. And as a father, I was like the type of person that just don't take like advice from other people as for how to, deal with your own child. And I mean, everybody will have their own parenting style of how they deal with their kids. And some things good, some things bad. But I'm just going through the motions, just figuring it out on my own and not knowing that those little tidbits and stuff that people will give were actually great stuff to learn and to help navigate. And for anger, so when after the bombshell of everything happened, one of my biggest things was anger. And it was to the other person because I'm like, why can you, how could you do this to me? Like, am I just that worthless to just throw to the side? Like, I never understood it. And I had anger of like, why did this happen to me? I had anger for because my plans had failed. Like everything I had planned, like lined up, is just, gone. So that built up a lot of anger. And also having anger as a father, because I'm like, this whole situation is like very, very unfair to my daughter, to our daughter, and like she doesn't deserve it. She's the innocent bystander in all this. She's the collateral damage in this, and now she has to grow up in a broken home. And that was, and with that, that one of my biggest things, especially going into this, like the beginning relationship, is to break down generational curses. Because on my side of the family, everybody that's been married has gotten divorced in some sort of way or fashion. And I wanted to break that and have a lifelong marriage. And so when that didn't happen, that was a lot of, built-in anger. And I was like, now my daughter has to live in the same situation as me because my parents wasn't married; they were separated also. And so that was a lot for me. And like the insecurities that came with this, like the conversations like that I was talking to my therapist was like I was so like, divorce is kind of one of those taboo things where, to me, I thought it was like one of the things that you shouldn't be happy about. It's like very taboo. And I felt like very, very shamed when everything first happened. I felt very, very shamed about it. Like I try as much as I can to hide what I'm dealing with, but people have a way of finding out what you're dealing with, and also your body is gonna give physical cues to other people that you're dealing with something. And you can hide it as much as you can hide it, is still gonna come out some way or some sort of fashion. And so like that was an insecurity for me, was that I failed as a father. Like I felt like I to me I felt like I took like the I took res- I felt like I took responsibility for all of this. And I'm gonna get into that later. And like I feel like I failed as a father, like to my daughter. Like I couldn't feel like I couldn't give her the life that she deserved, or like something that's different in our culture. It's too many broken homes in our culture, and I wanted to do something different. I wanted to be that change. So I felt like that failed as a father to her, and I feel like I failed as a husband. I'm thinking maybe I didn't try hard enough, but I soon with talking to my therapist, it I soon find out, especially from the beginning, it takes two in a relationship. It takes two in a marriage. One person can't try, while the other person just, doesn't care or whatever. It's not gonna work that way. And you can't force a relationship on nobody. And with that, I definitely want to get into about me taking the blame for it. Like I definitely felt like I was to blame for everything. But my therapist told me from the beginning that yeah, maybe you contribute to the relationship straining, but at the end of the day, people make their own decisions. That was their choice that they did what they did. That's the choice that they made with themselves. And so when that was like that was something I needed to hear for myself. That was that was God speaking through her. And I tell y'all, man, like my therapy sessions with my therapist, like man, we talk more about the Bible than we do about actual clinical therapy stuff. And like I definitely needed to hear that at that time. And that helped reframe my thinking about everything. So now I don't even blame myself for the whole situation. All I feel like is, yeah, I contributed in some way, but at the end of the day, I made a decision to try to fix this relationship. The other person made the choice they made. And I just had to be not necessarily content with that, but I just had to make, like the last episode, make peace with it. And also with misplaced identity, especially with being married so young, I didn't grow up to have like my own identity of doing things, like actually exploring my own hobbies or whatever, my likes, dislikes, things like that. And so like I didn't have my own identity. My identity was husband, father, and that's it. I didn't have nothing else on my own. And a big shock and wake up call was once that husband title is gone, what's left? What is there to do? Who am I? And so that took a lot of searching within my heart and just figuring out who am I. And so next I want to go into how I don't feel that this was punishment, but more of a preparation. Like I think I mentioned this before in one of the previous episodes of the series was that I definitely, especially to the point I am now, I definitely truly believe like 100% that this divorce was meant to happen. I truly believe that no matter if I would have done those things, the right things as a father, as a husband, I think we still would have came to this same conclusion, no matter what. And when I realized that it's because of how things had happened afterwards. Like, yeah, I think I mentioned this before also was like I had said that nobody can tell me otherwise, especially the way things have lined up. People say it's coincidences, but it's not. There's no way. But this is the path that God wants me to go on. This is the path that He had chosen for me. And I definitely see this as He's preparing me to get to whatever. I don't even know where He wants me wants me to be at. And so maybe it's something to do with this podcast. I don't know. And so I mean, with this podcast, I mean, if y'all know me, I'm not a talker at all. I'm an introvert. I got a very short emotional, not emotional, a social battery. Once I get home, I'm like exhausted. And like this the most I ever talk ever anywhere. in my entire life. I feel like I feel made new. I feel like a new person. Like I just feel good. I feel better. I feel happy. This is the happiest I ever been ever. It just that peace he's provided and just knowing that I am taken care of. I'm taken care of. What's that what's that verse, that scripture? I think it's Psalm 91, I believe. Let me look it up. Yes, it's Psalm 91, and it talks about he who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. For he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge. And his faithfulness is a shield and a buckler. And you will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in darkness, nor the destruction that wastes at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only look with your eyes and see the recompense recompense of the wicked, because you have made the Lord your dwelling place, the Most High, who is my refuge. No evil, no evil shall be allowed to befall you. No plague come near your tent, for he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. Like me, just like I used to say this, not necessarily every day, but as a reminder of like, he's gonna take care of me. Whatever way he has me, whatever path he got me on, he's gonna take care of me. And y'all, he has kept his word. I'm telling you, I'm telling y'all, he has kept his word. He has kept his promise. I am good and taken care of. And next, I'm gonna go into how God uses pain to refine, strengthen, and mature you. So one of the biggest things that even like during this season, that's how I found out about Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell. And one of his sermons was learning to suffer well. And with that, I have a scripture on suffering well. It's Romans chapter 5, verse 2 through 5. Technically, it's 3 through 5, but 2 kind of gives a little bit more information before everything. So it says, through him we have also obtained access by faith into his grace, in which we stand and we rejoice in hope of the glory of God. Not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. So you have to learn, suffering produces, essentially, like I said, it produces character. And what produces endurance, endurance produces character, character produces hope. And so that's just learning to, deal with those emotions, dealing with everything that comes up, and just definitely with having a therapist, learning how to process those emotions was a huge help with everything thus far. And with all that, it's been a whole lot of like reflecting on everything, or reflecting on the relationship, the marriage. And it helped me learn, like, it helped me learn to figure out what kind of husband I want to be. Now that I've been around good, godly counsel, I'm able, I finally now able to see examples of what they look like, because I didn't have that beforehand. So now I'm learning from them, picking up, different things that they do. And I'm like, okay, I like this. Maybe I should, do something like this in their next relationship or whatever. And, just picking up little things to, figure out what type of husband I want to be whenever it comes to that. Because the Lord knows right now I don't want to be in no relationship right now. because for one, even though I'm going through this divorce, regardless of the fact, in the eyes of the law and God, was still married. So I still act accordingly as a married person. And so until I get the decree, the divorce decree in my hand, even then I still probably wouldn't even be actively searching, for the next person or whatever. Because I just been having so much peace. I was like, I don't even wanna I don't want nothing to disrupt the peace that I have built for me and for my household. Like I'm honestly content. I used to be that was another fear of mine, was just being alone. And now I honestly gotten over that fear of being alone, and I actually love being alone. Like I've been to the movie theater by myself before. That took like a lot to get to that point, and I enjoy it. And I still haven't gone. It's still a lot of things I haven't done yet as a individual that I used to do as a married person. And maybe at some point down the line, I gather enough strength and courage. The Lord gonna have to bless me with that, and to actually do those activities and those things as a individual. Like I still haven't gone anywhere, by myself to sit down and eat at a table or restaurant by myself before. That's a that I think that's a huge one for me to get over. That's on my bucket list that I need to check, and maybe some along the line I get to that point. And so this also helped me figure out what kind of father I want to be. Like, especially now where I'm at this stage in the whole process. Like I'm just even throughout the whole thing that now since the husband title is gone, I have the father title still. I still have that. So now I'm trying to build up the pieces and figure out, okay, what do I need to do for my daughter to have the most comfortable and best life she can have, where she's safe and where I try to make things as normal as it can be. So it's not that much of a transition for her. And so, like, this, man, this is special. Man, having a little girl is something truly special. It changes you. It definitely changes you as a father. And one of those things that I definitely want to get into was that certain things happen and it required me having to turn to essentially a full time parent, and especially having a little girl. And what comes with little girls is doing hair. Yeah, when I tell you throughout the whole relationship and marriage, I did not touch my daughter's hair. I think I maybe washed her hair maybe probably no more than 5 times ever. And like I never touch her hair at all. And so one of the biggest learning curves that that was a mountain to climb, but I definitely enjoy it, is learning to do her hair. And not only that, is also getting that satisfaction from my own daughter saying that she likes like the different hairstyles that I do for her. So washing, drying her hair by myself, learning how to braid her hair. Oh man, learning how to part her hair. Wow, yeah, my teacher was TikTok. I learned everything off of TikTok, and I salute y'all out there that do hair. And that is not for me. That is not for me. Cause the way people explain it on the TikTok videos, hearing it and seeing it is one thing, but actually trying to do get my fingers to do the same thing. That's a whole completely different thing. And so that was a huge learning curve. But I know how to do my daughter hair now. I'm able to understand her and to also be there emotionally for her. And that took a lot too. The Lord had to tell me, he had to break that down. He had to tell me about myself on that. And now me and my daughter are able to have, conversations, and she's able to express herself and tell me how she feel about the things she like and don't like without feeling like minimized or whatever. She's able to express out what she like or don't like. And so that's a huge blessing in itself, especially for a 3-year old to do that. That's like we have whole conversations. Like we in the car leaving the daycare, and she just telling me about her whole day, about her friends that she be playing with, what they be doing at the school, all those things. And like my main focus now is just me doing what I can to protect her and make sure she live a life that I never lived, and to make this life the best it can be, to build something out of the ashes. And also the next things I want to talk about too is definitely the Lord knows whenever. Definitely not now, because I definitely don't feel ready. No time soon. Is now I know what to look for in a woman, in a wife. And I learned also what I would accept and what I won't accept, like my non-negotiables and things like that. Like as far as like social media presence, like wanting everybody's attention, establishing mainly is establishing boundaries. Because this last relationship, I didn't know the bill. I mean, I was 19 when I got married. So I didn't know different things like that. And I pretty much had like a no, essentially like a no boundaries relationship marriage. And like the only thing I expected is like I didn't have no boundaries, and the only thing I expected was for you to just act accordingly as a wife. That's all I cared about. But now, with me going through what I went through, I now see how things got to where it's gotten, where where I went wrong with not speaking up when I needed to speak up, and also not leading the family when I need to lead the family, and other things like that. So I definitely now see, and even still learning, crazy part, not being in an active relationship, but knowing what I accept in a relationship and not accept. And so it also me learning, just more about myself. Cause now, what all I had was the husband title is gone. Now I have the father title. And so that's one piece. But I also have, when I don't have my daughter, when she's at school, who am I? What type of person am I? And so the things I've been doing now, and just that I'm slowly, just figuring things out, is like some things I written down was like expanding my food palette. See, y'all gonna laugh at me about this, and y'all gonna be like, "You should have been grow up about this." But y'all, I never liked broccoli and asparagus and other things like that. And but now you can't even separate me from broccoli or asparagus. I always have it in my refrigerator all the time. I'm cooking more. I'm learning new recipes. I learned how to I know how to make mashed potatoes garlic mashed potatoes by scratch. They could be anybody. We can put that up to a debate on a competition. My mashed potatoes can be anybody. I just put it like that. I made that from scratch from memory, and learning to do that, learning to try new recipes, learn how to make meatloaf one day, and what else I done? Well, eating this asparagus and stuff. I never thought in a million years I'd ever eat asparagus, but look at me now, I'm just trying it out, doing things like that. I'm trying out new things, doing traveling and stuff, just enjoying myself. Like recently, with like trying new things, I went to go demo test a Tesla for like 2 hours. I ain't never drove a Tesla in my life or a fully electric vehicle ever in my life, and it it got me sold on that. I want a Tesla now. That man, it's some. I like that car. It was the Model Y premium, and that thing is nice. My daughter loved it. The first thing we did when she got in the car, she was just like, "Oh," and she was like, "Daddy, this car is cool." So we drove around the city. I tested out the full self driving feature on there, and man, this technology these days, it's something else. Cause I was a little nervous about it, but it navigated everything perfectly, like going through traffic, merging off the highway, merging on the highway, passing people. I ain't never seen nothing like this. And it amazed me. And to me, it's like that's another thing now, is just I'm enjoying the little things. I'm paying attention to the little things. Cause now I see life is way too short to just be mad at the world, to sit and just be upset about everything. I just at this point I just want to have fun. I just want to enjoy myself. Cause you never know when it's time, when you get that call, it's time to go home. And just man, it just I'm enjoying life now. I'm loving it. I'm loving doing these podcasts. At some point I started doing video and audio for the podcast, and just start having guests on the podcast sometime down the line. And like, I'm just enjoying life. At some point I'm gonna attempt to play the guitar. And then that's like my next thing. So I'm definitely excited for that. And so if y'all don't take nothing else from all this, just take this, that pain can produce something valuable when surrendered to God. If you just give everything to God, He can order your steps. He can make sense of everything for you. He can silence the crowd noise when everything gets loud. He can make it make sense for you. And so throughout this whole season, it showed me parts of myself that I never wanted to face, but it starts with being honest with yourself. You gotta be honest with yourself before you can even start the healing process. You gotta be honest, and you gotta have accountability. You have to be accountable for things. You can't run away from accountability. If you run away from it, you're just gonna keep pushing it down, pushing it later on, and it's just gonna build up and it's gonna fester. But you got to be honest with yourself. Thanks for joining today's conversation on Speak What's Needed. If this episode challenged or encouraged you, share it with a friend, leave a review, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Until then, keep speaking what's needed.